Right, how you doing, guys? Welcome back to Nodcast. I've been away for a little while. I've had some personal problems and people dying and at ages that they shouldn't be dying at and that. I've also had some family holidays and I've just been taking a little bit of time to deal with myself. But now I'm back onto the podcast and I've got a friend. I say a friend of mine is that I know this guy. I've met him a few times in the streets. He's homeless. He's got some right stories to tell from a young age right way through to what he is now. And so I'm going to introduce him now. So CJ, would you like to introduce yourself and say hi to Nodcast?
Hello, everybody.
You know,
CJ. Sorry.
Oh, that's right, CJ. Like you, don't worry, mate. But CJ's lived an interesting life, So currently CJ's homeless, and do you want to tell us a little bit about your homelessness, CJ, and how you've become homeless and the reasons why you've become homeless?
Right, okay, well, it all started back when I was 17. So basically, my parents were greedy, selfish alcoholics, and they decided that me not providing them their £125 a week while I was doing 14 classes at college that I had to revise for all of, otherwise I'd failed the course because it contained those 14 classes. I had 2 part-time jobs, one with Pizza Hut and one with a petrol station that was incidentally the most armed robbed petrol station in the whole of Surrey.
Incidentally.
They did tell me that when they offered me the job. They said, "Are you sure you want to work here? Because this place gets turned over at gunpoint all the time." And I just went, "What's the policy?" And they went, "Well, just hand the money over and smile." I was like, "Yeah, I can manage that."
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? Just empty the till. There you go, mate. Have a nice one. Do you know what I mean? I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." So yeah, hello.
Well, we got another introduction to the video as well, guys. There's one of my little cats just turned up as well. It's Timmy, I believe this one is.
Likes a smelly boot by the looks of things. He's trying to climb into it.
He might do, but so we haven't really gone into the fact though about how you're homeless currently in Pembrokeshire,
Right. Okay. So I was down here a while back in 2017-18 on the run. I mean, I hadn't escaped or anything. I'd been let out on licence and I'd just gone, jog your probation off long because you screwed me the last time and recalled me for existing. So, I wasn't willing to let them do that twice. So I was going to go to a little island in the middle of the South Pacific via Fishguard, an island, and some mates, contacts and relatives and whatever else and that. I'd already planned the journey out. And then I somehow ended up getting really, really comfortable down in Milford Haven because everybody was really fucking tidy with me.
Oh.
And so I ended up not deciding to go on my Todd to this island with whatever I could carry. I thought, well, I'll stay here for a while and I'll fill up a container crate full of all the stuff to make it nice and tidy on the island, and I'll probably take a few people with me for company.
So this
and
is
then I got recalled.
So this is back in 2017.
2018.
2018.
I got recalled,
so then you said you got recalled. I'm presuming you got recalled back to jail.
Back to jail.
Back to jail, this will be another conversation a bit further down the line. So when you came out of jail then, which was after 2018, which
was nearly a year ago.
Which was nearly a year ago.
9th of May. Yeah.
So over the last 12 months then, because obviously I've only met you over the last 12 months while you've been back in Pembrokeshire, Have you had much help in Pembrokeshire, or is that why are you still currently living on the streets, and why are you living in a tent?
Mostly, I'm not even in a tent, man. Yeah, but yes, mostly either people I knew from before, or just a couple of people here and there. I mean, you knew one guy I stayed with. I spent 3 weeks living with Eli.
A really nice guy, actually.
I mean, literally that was through someone else he knew down Mind, said to him, look, at the end of the day it's really cold and the guy's really ill at the moment, and so I ended up staying with him for 3 weeks.
I'll tell you what then, let's talk a little bit about that actually. So let's talk a little bit about your health and that then, So currently your health situation is not very well because you said you got bowel problems, was it?
Well, I mean, that's a long-standing thing. It's not drastic or anything, but being near a toilet's useful.
But with these problems, surely the Pembrokeshire Council should be helping you a little bit more, or recognise this problem and putting you towards the top of the list.
With stuff that I've got evidence and paperwork for, they should have put me bare minimum into a sheltered accommodation months ago.
Okay.
From November when I come down here. I mean, the first night I spent in Haverfordwest was 3 inches deep in snow outside Poundland.
Oh wow.
You know, and you know the irony of a previous situation outside St Martin's Church on their doorstep, being harassed by the police at 2 a.m. with a torch in my face. Was them saying, "Oh, we're just checking up on you," and I thought, "Hold up a minute."
At 2 o'clock in the morning, they
yeah,
can purposely see that you're homeless, can't they?
Yeah, but this was when it was 5 degrees. They didn't check up on me when I was sleeping in 3 inches of snow on Castle Square, right visible, where they drive by, because that's one of their routes back to the station. They all come by there, don't they?
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? So they didn't bother stopping and going, "Oh, you're all right, mate." Do you know what I mean? They just wanted to come and harass me, and then within a week of 3 lots of harassment in 3 days, like. It was like 2 a.m, 9 a.m, the same morning, and then miss a day, and then the third day it was another lot. Yeah.
Do you know what? It wouldn't even have been so bad if they'd have picked you up and took you to the police station, fed and watered you till you walked a nice warm room. You'd probably have preferred that, like.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to get harassed at that sort of time in the morning, you maybe like take me to the police station at least, like feed and water me.
One of the three incidences, they were spouting on about, "Oh, we've had some concerning reports, and we need to search you for a firearm." And I was like, you know, because it was half asleep first thing in the morning, waking me up and all this shit. Yeah, like, I'm not thinking straight to, you know,
of course not,
fight
no.
my case. You know what I mean? I'm delirious and that. Yeah, and it weren't until after they'd left I realised how dull the situation was, because at the end of the day, you don't go and search someone for a firearm without even a can of CS gas and a baton in your hand. You turn up with helicopters with night sun and a load of geezers with machine guns and laser sights pointed in your face. Don't you? Do you know what I mean?
Right, so let's get into this firearms a little bit, because you know, I've met CJ now over the last 12 months. I've talked to him a few times and that, but when he walks around the town, he looks like he's just come off the battlefield, He's got a big hat on, he's got camo on his hat, he's got full camo, but anyone and everyone that knows, that survival experts and whatever else knows that camo's the best for waterproofing, camo's the best to keep you warm. The hat's probably just to make the appearance look that bit better,
It's for protection, but
no, but anyone in their right mind, which knows a little bit about survival, would know about camo and the reason why this man's got camo, because camo is the best gear, it's the hardest wearing, it's the toughest. You've even got camo socks on, like army issued socks on, so. When we go back then to the gun, is that in my head, is that I believe that someone might have looked at you thinking that you was in the army or whatever else, and you're in full army gear. They might think that you will have a gun on you, and just because of the way you dress.
Oh no, I know where the accusation came from. I literally went into county sports and asked them if there was anywhere to do rifle shooting.
Okay.
Literally, because I overheard some people in there talking. And they said something about targets and that, and I said, "Oh well, is there like a rifle range around this way and that?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, okay. So do they rent things out, or do you have to buy them in here, or what's the crack like?" And they said, "Oh, you need a gun license." I said, "Okay, how'd you go about getting one of them?" And they said, "Oh, you'll have to speak to the police." And I went, "Well, that's a no then." You know what I mean? That's a blatant no then.
Yeah, but
I was only interested because where I'd been in Mind, Mind.
I know Mind very well.
So they kept doing these things once a month where they put a flip chart up and they'd be like, "Right, has anybody got any ideas for shit to do and that?" And I went, "Well, what about paintballing?" And I kept saying paintballing every time they asked. I kept going, "Yeah, paintballing, right?" But I wasn't considering the people in the electric wheelchairs and that, yeah. But if you're on a rifle range, no, because I've seen this done on.
Come on then.
If you're on a rifle range, yeah, you could have it set up for someone that's disabled in a wheelchair to have a crack. Do you know what I mean?
Can you
so
really?
It would be inclusive of everybody. Do you know what I mean?
But you say inclusive for everyone, he is just basically a sitting target though, when he literally.
What was that?
Or someone in a wheelchair.
Oh, right, yeah, no, but I'm on about for having a go with the rifles. Not using him as the target.
But on paintballing, he would be like a sitting target.
On paintballing, yeah, definitely, yeah.
But obviously, it's that your mindset is thinking guns or whatever, even though you don't carry one.
No, they just ask you, what sort of stuff do you like doing? And I was like, well, I don't think none of these down here are going to be in for rock climbing. What about running about in the woods shooting people? Do you know what I mean? That's a giggle, do you know what I mean?
It is a giggle, and to most people,
It's got some woodland round this way as well, so there must be somewhere that does it. Like.
Well, to most genuine people, again, especially myself, like I'd absolutely love that if I'm honest. Like paintballing. I'd love to even shoot a rifle, or as long as it's controlled in a good manner. But I feel as though the way that you're dressed is that you get victimised for saying these things.
Yeah.
You know, because of the way you're dressed, you're homeless. You've come out of jail. But I'm not sure how many people actually know that, like, because I
don't make a secret of it.
I know you don't make a secret of it, but I get approached by people that don't even know you, like, and people are telling me, like, they're like, well, just watch CJ because he's dangerous. You know, so what do you say to them people then, like, because
stop listening to the old Bill.
Well, yeah, but they don't know nothing about you.
Yeah, don't take your cues from like the DSS, the NHS, and the bloody police, because they're all fucking shit. Really, let's be honest, right? You got Harold Shipman, Lucy Letby, and that guy that was chopping women's tits off in no cause and that. Yeah, there's your NHS, right? You got Wayne Couzens, right? The armed copper and that kidnapped, raped, and murdered Sarah Everard, right?
Yeah.
So listening to the old Bill's not really that sensible, is it? Necessary evil's a crock of shit, mate. There's nothing necessary about the old Bill. Most of them around here just get carpal tunnel from taking fucking bribes off of that lockdown Castle Square all day long. They're running county lines gangs and fucking nonce grooming gangs and shit, yeah, but nobody seems to do anything about them.
And I'll be honest, we're going well off track homelessness now. But I don't mind, like, because I knew this was going to happen, and I know this. I know CJ's got a lot of opinions about a lot of different subjects, but he's actually very articulate, and he's actually a really intelligent guy if you really stop and speak to him. So would you encourage people to stop and talk to you and maybe have a nice conversation, like, as much as he looks a bit
basically,
out of character,
basically, I'm tidy with anyone, right, that doesn't think Masons are the centre of the universe and nonces are amazing. Basically,
well, there we go,
or they don't love the old Bill for some silly reason.
So anyway, let's get back to homelessness a little bit as well then, like, So currently you're homeless in Haverfordwest. The council ain't really doing anything about it.
They're actually going out of their way not to do anything about it.
So how long have you been on the streets in Haverfordwest?
Since the 19th of November.
This year or last year?
Just gone.
Just gone, like, so that's what, about 7 months, 6, 7 months, is it?
Yeah, about that, yeah.
6, 7 months. So within that time then, like, how many people would you say are homeless in Haverfordwest right now?
That I know of, at least 20.
At least 20?
At least 20, yeah.
Or staying in the streets?
Street homeless,
street homeless.
Yeah, like tents, whatever, hedgerows and all that. Like.
There's another thing I want to say right now as well about CJ, is that he comes here, to me he looks smart and respectable. Even though he's in Campbell, that's still smart, it's still respectable, like, he does not stink in any kind of way.
Well, that's because I've got a lot of layers on.
No.
I am quite with you when I'm down to my jumper, but yeah.
But right now I'm sat next to him, he doesn't smell, he doesn't even look homeless, if I'm totally honest, he just looks like he's been on a hunting trip. Yeah, so but also, like, I can't smell alcohol, he doesn't drink. I'm not sure if he does drugs, because we haven't got that far yet.
I smoke a bit of weed, that's it.
Well, there we go. He doesn't even smell of cigarettes, like,
I don't smoke cigarettes, I don't vape.
So we got people then around the town which look at him and think that he's a madman or he's dangerous, but they're not actually understanding or knowing the true CJ, like, to be a madman and dangerous is that usually some of these factors come in where you get drunk or you go on drugs and so on, like, but this guy's just trying his best just to get on in life and try and succeed, like, so he's also just said now that there's about 20 people homeless in Haverfordwest. So just now let's get into this a bit more.
And I personally have done more to help them than places like the Woolwich. I mean, I take them up bloody spoons and buy them breakfast in the morning and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
So this is what I'm going to say now, like, so out of them 20 people that you see homeless on the streets, how many of them are on drugs or alcohol, would you say?
Most of them.
Most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah. So most of them, like, out of 20 people he sees on the streets here now, is that most of them are either on drugs or they're alcoholics, I guess, and that's more than likely the reason why that they're actually homeless, I guess. So now we got the issues of Pembrokeshire Council, which won't help this guy, and won't accommodate him, and they think he's dangerous. The police are harassing him, and so on, I guess. But
I recently found out they actually put a guy who's English, and he was on licence, so he was actually serving a current sentence at the time, into a place in Broadhaven, flat 10 up some hill and that, I can't remember the name of the road, but Sand something or other. And he got recalled back to jail, and they're holding his flat for him. Not only that, he told me that he was on the council housing list while he was in jail before he come out. He come out exactly the same day I went on the streets down here on the 19th of November, and by Christmas he was in a flat in Broadhaven, and he's been recalled, and they're holding it for him as well.
So when
he's
you,
English.
So when you was in jail last, like you said, you first came here 2017, was it?
Yeah, 2017. Yeah.
Then you was recalled 2018. Did you put yourself on the housing list then?
No, I was on the run.
No, he's on the run.
I wasn't even signing on. I was living off the big issue.
That's 4 years on in jail. Because you went back, you got recalled.
I come out on licence and I just fucked it off and went on a run.
Oh, right, okay, fair enough, like, yeah.
That's what I meant. I didn't escape. When I said earlier, I didn't escape. I was let out, like.
So we've heard a little bit about your homelessness now, like, yeah, and a little bit about the homeless crisis in Pembrokeshire and the people. You know, is that, do you get worried about being on the street in Pembrokeshire?
To be honest, I've squatted in the middle of my side with a crack dealer one side and an IRA guy the other, and there was kids coming into the place with firearms and all sorts, demanding mobile phones off of us, and then giving them back and laughing when they saw how crap they were. So, not really, no. You know, I've been had up at knife point in the middle of Birmingham for selling a big issue because some guy took offence to it. Do you know what I mean?
Really?
He could have cut my throat open in front of his missus. Fucking try and sell me that shit, he said. He had me by the scruff of the neck with a flick knife to my throat. Do you know what I mean? Just for selling the big issue. Do you know what I mean? I weren't doing nothing wrong.
Well, another thing I want to say as well, guys, like, is that if you look at this gentleman now next to me, like, is 47 years old, CJ?
47,
yeah. 47 years old, like, and do you know what, like, he looks pretty well for 47 years old, like, you know, you can see he's not drawn out, you can see he's not a bad person, like. So where would you say then, like, is that this homelessness and your where would you say your problems in life actually stem from?
Birth, my parents.
Yeah. It stemmed from birth and your parents,
yeah. My parents were a fucking mess, man. When they died 8 months apart and that, it was like a blessing to me.
So what age was you when that happened?
25.
25. Yeah. And they died at 8 months apart.
Yeah. So my mum went first, and then I think my old man just gave up. But they told him he had prostate cancer, and he just went, "Yeah, stick the treatment up your arse, mate. Not interested."
So you didn't even feel any remorse to that?
No, did I fuck, man? I was like, thank fuck they're not, fucking my life up anymore, man, because they just kept managing to make it worse somehow.
So up until that point, then, like, was you in a lot of problems and with the police?
No, I got arrested once when I was 9 for burgling a fucking pub of all things. It was basically, I'll tell you what it was. It was my dad was a landlord till I was fucking 9 anyway.
Okay.
And basically it was he knew all landlords all over the place. I don't know if it's a thing around the whole UK or whether it was just him, but he must have known about 50 landlords himself. And they was all like, if you were short a barrel, you could ring a mate, go, "Oh, can I borrow some Guinness or whatever," and all that, and just give it back, like. And it was a mate of his's kids. Right, so another landlord's kids, I was 9, they were 16 and 14, it was a brother and sister, and they got me to burgle another pub that was a rival pub to their dad's, basically, right, they just used me, right, and I was just like, older kids giving me some attention, my parents just beat me and terrorised me all the time. I like people that are nice to me, so I'm also autistic, so, I was just easily led, 9-year-old being, manipulated by older fucking kids. And I got arrested at 9 for burgling some other pub. And
so where did your life go wrong then? So because
everywhere.
Like you say everywhere, like it, but is there a start to it, like because obviously right now, like is the problems you've got. It feels like in my head, like a bit like your past is following you a bit, like So where did it start to go wrong in your past, like?
Depends what angle you're coming at it from. I mean,
because obviously mum and dad,
special school. I mean, fuck me, I was kicked out of mother and toddler group for kicking the other babies. That was before I was 3. Like, no, everything in life has just been a heap of steaming shit for me, basically.
So could you?
I didn't get diagnosed with my autism till I was 40 in Park, and that place is a shit show.
So could you then say then? So currently your current situation is bad, obviously, yeah. But are you trying your best to be better?
Well, I think giving up drinking for over 20 years and smoking the same and, not wandering around doing crack and fucking smacking people's heads in outside Lloyd's at fucking 2 in the afternoon with my shirt off like someone I know. No names mentioned.
No,
we don't do the mentioning the names, but what I'm saying is at the end of the day, I'm not rolling around like some dickhead like after people around here, because at the end of the day, I don't get drunk, I'm not punching people out in the street, I'm not on crack, I'm not burgling people's houses, I'm just some guy trying to make ends meet. Do you know what I mean?
And this is what I want the video to interpret as well, like, you know, because there's a lot of people out here now in Haverfordwest, like, yeah, which do look upon you as a dangerous person. And me personally, I don't understand why, like, yeah, because I've met you and I talk to you and we have a laugh and, you know, and we have a conversation, like, yeah, but it is that these people have got a misconception about who you are. You know, so I'm trying to get out of it, like out of you, like where this goes wrong, and so they can hear the full story and they can hear and they can actually understand the person behind the smile every day. You know, so when I stop you and you smiling at me, like, yeah, is that smile's not a smile really, because behind that smile,
that's me being polite.
Yeah, there's so much going on behind the smile, like, yeah, that people don't actually understand, like, yeah, you know, so that's why I want people to hear and understand it as well, like, you know, it's not just that you're homeless, because you are homeless. And
I used to be a smiley, happy person, you know, 6 weeks into being homeless when I was still 17, so technically classed as a child under 18. I was gang raped in Brighton and then laughed out the police station for trying to report it. The second they found out I was homeless, because I told them my address was NFA, they'd already filled in the name and the date of birth and everything on the paperwork. The second they heard NFA, they just went about there, putting their feet up, putting their coffee on and telling me to fuck off and laughing in my face. Apparently homeless people deserve to be gang raped when they're children. That's just the police's mentality, and that's one of the reasons why I fucking hate them.
Yeah, but we're talking homeless now, like, yeah. So this isn't your first rodeo being homeless.
No, is it? Fuck, man, I've done over a decade of it on and off since
10 years.
1997. Yeah.
And do you know what? You actually look really well since you've lived 10 years on the
Still
street.
got all my own teeth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know, but no, but you actually look quite well because you're not wrinkly up there. I got more wrinkles up there than you have. Do you know what I mean? So you look really well for it, like, yeah. Although you're a bit of a character with a nose ring and that, like, you know. But you look really well for being homeless for over a decade. So, how many different cities then have you been homeless in?
All of them.
Well, all of them.
Well, I mean, I haven't been to Swindon, and I haven't been to Blackpool, and I haven't been to Liverpool.
No.
But other than that, pretty much every major town and city.
Which one would you say is the roughest?
The roughest, fucking hell. Well, pick three off the top of my head would be Glasgow, Manchester and Liverpool. And I won't go Liverpool, so that's definitely pretty fucking rough.
So what made you then, out of curiosity...
I'm from London. I'm not listing London as one of the roughest. It's a shithole, but it's not one of the roughest.
It's actually quite...
it's safer than some of the other places in the UK, yeah.
Yeah, but out of curiosity, because you're now the complete opposite end of the world to Glasgow, how the fuck do you end up in Glasgow?
I went up to a protest site up there, an anti-nuclear protest site back when I was younger, and that protesting seemed all fun and something to do while you're homeless, rather than sitting in the doorway going, "Spare any change, please, mate."
Yeah, of course.
So sitting around a fire with a bunch of people getting wrecked on mushrooms and acid and whatever, and that, listening to sing-songs seemed appealing, you know. And there was a place, it was in Helensburgh, called Faslane Peace Camp, and nearest place for me to do a bit of graft was go sell the big issue in Glasgow, or go pick them up in Glasgow where the office was and sell them elsewhere. So that was how I knew Glasgow.
So would you say then, like, is that over the years then, like, is that your homelessness brought you to drugs?
No, I was doing drugs well before I even left school.
You know, because obviously my last podcast was heroin addict and how he...
hard drugs? I mean, I started smoking weed when I was 6.
No, I'm just saying, because my last podcast was about heroin and how we found heroin, like, yeah. But the situation that you've been in over the years, so you've been homeless in every major city and whatever, like, yeah. But to me, that's the way that you would find homelessness was no hard drugs, is when you rock bottom and you know, and people are around you that are like literally begging for it.
I'm not your normal guy. I never did drugs to hide from shit that had gone on in my life. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't a coping mechanism. I did drugs and drinking, binge drinking and all that, yeah, to fit in.
Yeah.
And now I'm not that guy anymore. Now I'm fuck everyone. I'm me. I don't give a shit, mate. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if people want to judge me, that's fine. But I'm not going to be something that other people want me to be. And my argument has been for years now, since they brought all these adverts about coercive control out and all that.
Oh, that's nuts. Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, when they're saying like, "Oh, you can't tell your missus not to wear this and that and get that makeup off your face, you look like a tart, and that's a crime." Well, if a bird turns around to me and says, "Oh, you should take all that shit off, put something tidy on and go get a job, you lazy cunt." Well, hold up a minute. Well, if it's a crime for a bloke to do it to his missus, how is it not a crime for the bird to do it to a bloke? What's good for the goose is good for the gander is my argument, right?
Yeah.
And if in a country or a whole world or whatever right now that praises people for going to pride marches and backflipping down the high street wearing pink tutus as a geezer with the balls hanging out the side waving a rainbow flag and that, yeah? Why the fuck can't I wear what I wear? Why can't I wear what I wear if it's alright for people to do that? Plain and simple, boy.
I knew this guy would go off on one of a few times, like, yeah. But let's get into something you just said there, just then, like, yeah. Is that you was on about why can't a girl tell you to put something smart on that on? Yeah. And but from that, like, yeah,
it's coercive control.
It is, but instantly I thought about work, right. Like, yeah, and like, okay, well, over the years then, have you done much work? And
honestly, no, a lot of big issues, but yeah,
yeah,
I mean, I've done a bit of cash in hand here and there, but like the only real jobs I ever had was when I was at college before my parents threw me out after a couple of weeks stint in hospital from physical exhaustion. Basically, your body just going fuck off version of a nervous breakdown, and one job with Morrison's. Like literally, I ended up working for Morrison's around 2004, and that was hard graft. That was, I mean, I literally, I went from sleeping in the car park stairwell, right, to having to get two different authorities that oversee banks to terrorise a high street bank in Wokin's manager into giving me a bank account. Because I said, look, one of them's got if there's a triangle, right? You've got the employer, you've got the accommodation, and you've got the bank, right? And they're all saying without one you can't get the other.
No, you can't.
Basically, they're just going fucking stay homeless, mate, while everybody's giving it all. Get off your ass and get a job. I proved it can be done, but I had to go to the point of blackmailing my employer and terrorising a bank manager through all the government agencies and everything. I had to go so far above and beyond to get my arse out of that doorway and get a job, and it still only lasted 8 months.
Well, there we go, look, yeah, you heard this here first, like, yeah. So homelessness isn't as easy as people think it is, yeah, just to go out and get a job and go sort your life out, like, yeah, because you just heard it first, yeah, straight from the horse's mouth on how difficult it is to actually get a job, like, yeah, because I suppose once you get into that bad place and you're homeless, you end up with no bank account, you end up with no address. And I suppose the address is the most important, is it?
No address, no bank account, you can't get the job because they want to have, if you're applying for a job, they want to have the address and they want to have the bank details, otherwise they won't employ you.
But there's another thing as well now, like, yeah, which has come out from the government as well, which makes it even more difficult for the homeless, believe it or not, like, yeah.
Surprise.
Because it's not just for the homeless, even for myself, like, yeah, I actually applied for a job last Christmas and I had to prove that I was a British citizen.
Wow.
So
mate, I got off a boat in Dover covered in boot polish, they'd give you everything.
Yes, yeah, so I had to prove that I was a British citizen, so I had to have my birth certificate and proof of my national insurance number to prove that I was eligible to work in the UK.
Wow.
Even though I'm born British and everything else, yeah. Yet, if you come off a boat, like your man just said, like, yeah, is that when they come off these boats, they've got their passports, they've got their birth certificates.
No, they've got nothing. They've thrown it all in. They're all just like, oh, I'm a refugee.
No, but anyway, so back to my conversation with that then, no, yeah, is that if I have to prove that I'm British, even though, okay, I'm comfortable, I got a flat and I got quite a nice life and, and whatever else, but can you imagine how if you're homeless now, like, yeah, is that you probably haven't got your ID. You more than actually, I'd say that you definitely haven't got it. Like, yeah, you have.
Bro, I don't just have a gas mask. I have a passport.
No. But anyway, but most because they're on drugs and drink, yeah, wouldn't, like, yeah.
Not box pissing.
No, and then they certainly haven't got a bank account and they haven't got an address. So now the government's just made one extra problem.
To be fair, I will say in their defence, whoever's the government, DSS, whatever, and that, yeah, over, I don't know, at least 10 years, they have actually got a thing that says you're entitled, as anybody that's a UK citizen, to have a basic bank account to have your benefits paid into.
Yeah, you can,
so they have actually got round that now. You can get a bank account even if you're on your arse.
That used to be a post office account. Is that still the same now?
No, they've done away with them. That's what I mean with the basic bank accounts.
But how do they get a basic bank account then?
Just walk into Santander and go, I've got fuck all, mate. I need a bank account. I can't get my benefits, and they'll sort it out for you.
They will, without birth certificate and everything.
It won't be a tidy account. It won't be like, here's a gold credit card or anything.
But it'll be something you can put your card in and get your money out.
You'll be able to get your card and your money out out the wall. But yeah,
Oh, that's not so bad, like, is it? Like,
Won't
you
even be
know.
able to buy things online.
And you know what? Like, it's even though he is actually, you should have been a punk. Yeah.
I've been a punk, mate.
You
I
did-
used to have a Mohican that went up to here, boy.
Did you see my podcast on punks?
No.
No. Have a watch on that, because what is a punk like? Yeah, a punk is anti-establishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the way that CJ talks to me right now, it's all anti-establishment,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know, it's anti-government, it's anti-this, it's anti-that. And
I've got very little good to say about the establishment, to be fair.
so where do you see the future going for you now then, CJ?
Well, I mean, I wanted to start an industrial cleaning company and just basically go from there. I mean, I had all sorts of plans and that. Like, I don't really want to go into them because they're
No, of course, they're private.
they're not illegal or anything like that. They're just, a little
Private.
bit fucking off key and that. But yeah.
No, so you've obviously got then, because you've obviously got then aspirations and goals.
Oh yeah.
You know, so is there any help out there for you to achieve these aspirations and goals?
No, unfortunately, no.
So
Because the way things are set up, I mean, at the moment, I'm in a position where the DWP have deemed me unemployable. So, from that perspective, they wouldn't then go out of their way to champion people helping me set up a business.
Okay.
Because they think I shouldn't be working. So, I'd have to do all that off my own back, which then means I've got to save up from benefits to buy all the equipment required to run a cleaning company, which even second-hand ain't bloody cheap, mate. You know,
No.
look up a floor buffer. Anyone watching this, just look up floor buffer second-hand. I guarantee it's more than $750 because it was that bloody years ago. So they're not cheap and they're not small, and you need somewhere to keep all the equipment. So you're doing that in a shed somewhere.
But there's another thing I'm curious of, like, what seems you're homeless and that, like, last night, I believe it was, you messaged me and said, the Chinese takeaway wouldn't deliver food to you.
No, basically they just said you're only round the corner. And I was absolutely writ off at the time. I was like, I just wanted it delivered.
Yeah, but
they wouldn't even let me pay by card.
Yeah,
they
but
were like, nah, mate, you've got to pay cash.
It's not about the fact that the Chinese food wouldn't deliver to you, like, yeah. It's more to the point that you've obviously managing your money enough to be able to eat takeaways and
just not live in hotels all month.
Yeah, of course, yeah. You know,
if I could afford £100 a night for the whole month, man, I wouldn't be on the street. Trust me.
No, but be obviously managing your money well enough then, like, yeah, to maintain a good standard of food and a good.
I try, yeah.
You know, because you don't look unwell in any kind of way.
I've been ill 3 times since November.
You haven't. Yeah, what really bad, like?
Well,
Has it put you in hospital?
No, I mean I was up Eli's for 3 weeks. I was proper rough. Like, I mean, I could barely walk.
You know.
Yeah.
So let's talk as well then about mental health.
Yeah.
You know, because like obviously over the years you've this isn't your first rodeo, is it?
No, but Broke Irwin basically spoke to me once for about an hour or two with a mental health advocate and one of my mates who was in the special needs wing of Park with me and that, who's actually a local homeowner, lives up Narberth Road and that. And yeah, you know, even though there was witnesses and everything there, basically they just went, yeah, whatever. And then one of the receptionists, when I rang up to ask what was going on, accidentally let slip by saying, oh yeah, it says on the computer here something about discharged and that. And I was like, discharged?
Well, you was discharged.
Yeah, well, I was never an inpatient, but to me, discharge means giving the fucking elbow. Mate,
Yeah, of course, like, yeah.
So basically, if I've gone to a mental health unit to be assessed and I've been discharged, they've just gone, yeah, we're not really interested in helping that guy. Fuck off, mate. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, I've got all these reports written about me in Park saying I'm, you know, Hannibal Lecter on steroids and I just want to eat every fucker. And then Broke Irwin have just gone, nah, mate, go on, do one.
So do you think then, because you've just said something interesting about Hannibal Lecter on steroids and Parkinson's and like, yeah. So do you think then there's people out there then right now then which are diminishing your name or telling people...
Yeah, police.
I
honestly believe, right, that the police, before I was released, have gone round most of the county and just gone, oh, see this geezer with the camo and that coming out and nicking a nose ring and all the business and that, yeah? Just stay the fuck well clear of him and that, because, like, you know, he's a menace.
But why
literally, I think they're going around slagging me off.
Why would you think it was the police, though? Like, not anyone that you've been in Park prison with?
Nah, it's fuck, man.
You know?
Listen, all they're interested in Park is just smoking spice.
So did you get along with
spice and grassing each other
So did you get along with everyone you was in Park prison with?
No, I got on with a few lads, but most of the lads I got on with were in a worse position than me because I know I could trust them.
Yeah, but
So if
also,
someone's done 20 years on an IPP and they're getting shafted harder than me on parole reports, I know they're not a mason. Do you know what I mean? I know I can rely on them. I know I can trust them with my life. You know, the only people I could trust were some of the worst off people in there because, you know, everybody else was just working for the fucking gathers.
Yeah.
Just, you know, I mean, literally the place is just wall-to-wall spice heads and grasses. Whole of Park is just like either people grassing each other up for fucking a decat or whatever, or just fucking selling spice for the screws or smoking the shit.
so let's get back to mental health then, right? This isn't your first rodeo. You said broke grooming wouldn't help you, whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm on about like, yeah, is that how is your mental health though every night, yeah? Knowing that you have to sleep rough and, you know, does that affect you every night or?
Like I said before, man, I'm not normal. Do you know what I mean? Like things that other people consider like depression, I just consider feeling a bit tired. Like I don't think I get depressed. I think I just like experience fucking neutrality and rage, and that's it.
So does that fuel you to be better in life?
Like what?
You know, so when you sit there and you're like you don't get depressed, yeah. Does that fuel you then? Instead of like being depressed, you get fueled then to like maybe go out and do something a little bit more the next day, or?
Not really. No. It's I mean, most of it's physical, you know. So like sleeping on the floor at 47 and that, like
That's not good. Like that's never good.
I sleep on my front and I throw myself about a lot at night. You know what I mean? So basically, I'm fighting with the floor. So, you know, you got to consider if you're tossing and turning and you're sleeping on your front, man, you're literally slamming your shoulders into the floor all bloody night. My shoulders kill. Then I've got a fucking rucksack that weighs half a ton. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's not half a ton. We actually know the correct weight to this rucksack.
It's not just a rucksack, it's the hand luggage and everything in my pockets and all your body armour and everything. All in, it's over seven stone like.
7 stone.
7 stone on top of 13 stone. So I'm basically rolling around at 47. On knees that are screaming at me and a reconstructed ankle after 3 previous heart attacks with 20 stone. Do you know what I mean? I'm lugging 20 stone about, and that's why I've started using the bus. And
I'm going to throw in a picture of this guy with his full gear now, with 7 stone on top of what he looks like there, and how he walks about Haverfordwest. And there's a reason why
they've all seen me.
They've all seen you, but this isn't just Haverfordwest.
Oh,
this is going around the country a bit as well, and possibly worldwide as well. Like
that's cool.
Okay, so but you know, but I'm going to throw in a picture and show you exactly what this guy looks like as well, like with his whole gear on, like But there's a reason why you carry all that gear, though, isn't it? You know.
Well, yeah. I mean, some of the stuff isn't actually necessary, but from the point of view of what I've got planned in the future, like, I mean, I want a piece of land. I want to put a container crate on it, and then I want to use that as a home / like business premises for running my cleaning company from. And obviously, if you're in a field in the middle of nowhere, you ain't going to have banging signal and all that business. I like Xbox, I like gaming, you know, it's one of my obsessions as an autistic. I mean, I've got 2 Xboxes, I'm living in a bloody toilet, do you know what I mean? You know, I've got stuff in storage from when I was in a building in Milford before I come down here.
Oh, so you pay storage monthly?
I paid it 6 months in advance back in November when I come down here. I put all my shit in storage because there was no way I was going to let it. About $5 grand's worth of shit I wasn't going to let get stolen. Do you know what I mean? Leaving it in Tom's thing. I will name drop this prick because he's the reason I'm on the street in the first place. Nobody likes a fucker anyway. Tom Sinclair that runs the Herald newspaper basically gave me a veiled threat to fucking shut my mouth or he was going to throw me on the street. And I weren't having that, so I kept it sweet with him until payday and just fucked him off, put all my shit in storage.
Well, there we go, Tom Sinclair, like you've been name dropped on the video. So if you want to contact me and you want to do a retaliation video, be more than welcome, like, okay?
Crack on, yeah.
You know, but anyway, but that's quite interesting what you said about everything's in storage, and you said you got about £5 grand's worth of stuff, like, yeah? Is there any person usually on the street with £5,000 worth of belongings, maybe, would be in the process right now of selling them, doing drugs, doing drink, or, you know, but this guy's literally
buying more. You know what I mean? I've got a fucking satellite dish I roam around with. Do you know what I mean?
You know, so now we're getting a story and we're getting an understanding about what CJ is like. You know, so all you haters out there who think that he's dangerous and that, like, and he's not dangerous.
Well, if you give me a slap, you'll find out how dangerous I am.
Yeah, but no one's about to do that, though, is he?
No.
You know, there's no reason to slap you, like, because you're not out robbing anyone, you're not out mugging anyone, you're not.
Nah, but when people get a skinful, man, they tend to get a bit fucking leery.
Yeah, of course, like, you know, most people do, like,
Hence the camera on the helmet, man. It's very useful because at the end of the day, I'm a registered autistic, and if I have a meltdown and go crazy and end up killing some fucker and that because they've hit me first to the point where I've ended up having the meltdown in the first place.
Yeah, but
there you go. I've got camera footage to hand the fucking judge and say, well, he hit me first. Sorry, I killed him. Job done. Don't hit autistic people and they won't go mental and fucking tear your head off.
So there we go again, like, yeah. So there we go again, like, yeah. There's everyone sees that camera, thinks an invasion of privacy, whatever else.
And how many billions of cameras are there all over the UK?
The UK.
Don't see anybody having a go at the government.
No, the UK's actually the worst in the world, for watching us on through cameras, like, yeah. But all this guy's doing really, like, yeah, is protecting himself. Yeah, you know. So that camera isn't about anything other than protecting himself, like, you know. And he's got every right to protect himself, being homeless, and you know, a lot of people being homeless.
They'll wear them. Security guards in Tesco's wear them.
Yeah,
Screws wear them.
But he's got a right to protect himself because that. Because being homeless is you're the most vulnerable, like, and you're actually a target, you know, and people fall.
People punch down because they're cowards. And they have to go around in gangs attacking homeless people and setting fire to them and raping them and stuff.
You know,
because they think they can get away with it because society's just give up on us. So at the end of the day, the sort of people that attack the homeless are just spineless fucking jellyfish, mate.
They are spineless jellyfish, to be fair, like, you know, because. Although some of them might be on drugs and drink, whatever, like, they still have a right to have be humane and fucking, and to live a decent life, like, You know, so even though.
Well, I mean, I'll be honest, right? Yeah, anybody watching this now, right? What do you think is worse, a homeless person or a paedophile?
I think a paedophile or
right. Well, myself, they, mate. If Jimmy Savile came back down this end, right, they build a fucking statue of him and worship it, mate. People round here just let them all get away with it like it's fucking nothing.
No, they don't.
Plenty to say to me.
Not all of them, like,
not all of them, but
not all of them. There's a few boys in Haverfordwest which are really good, and they put.
I don't see many nonces fucking heads on spikes in the middle of town. Is what I'm saying. Do you know what I mean? If it was London, man, they'd be getting chopped up left, right, and centre.
You know,
they're getting dumped here from all over the UK, and I've been told that by many people. This
is
literally a dumping zone for them.
I tell you what, let's talk about, since you said that actually, let's talk about another aspect of your life then, like, which is, you've been jailed quite a lot, you've been homeless for 10 years, on and off, like, You know, so how's this affected then relationships with you?
Relationships?
If you've, even if you've had any?
I have, yeah. My last... Well, my only 2 proper relationships that ever length of any time was 3.5 years and 20 months. The first one I had a daughter with, she's now 25. I haven't seen her since the day before her first birthday.
Would you like to say anything now to your daughter no one here?
I doubt she's going to see this, to be fair.
But if she did, would you like to say anything?
Well, she probably wouldn't. Like I said, man, it's not really her thing. She's going out on is not really her thing. Trust me.
It might not be, but is there anything that you would like to see? That have you thought about her for the whole time?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. So would you like to say anything to her right now? Just like, if just in case you do watch, would you like to say anything?
Shame I wasn't in your life, but basically your mum told me to stay away. I don't know what she's told you, but that's how it is, man.
That is just in case you ever did watch this video, okay? Like, you know, and that came from his heart because he looks quite upset right now, actually. You know, but anyway, where was we anyway? Back to relationships. How did it affect your relationships with all these issues that you've had going on over your life?
I don't think it was just homelessness. I mean, like, just in general, having fucked up parents and, you know, autism that was undiagnosed and years of special school and, you know, just adverse treatment and that, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't living in the same world as everyone else and I never have been. Do you know what I mean? So, I don't know, unfortunately, the sort of women I attract are the sort that are like fucking
nuts.
Joanna Dennehy on steroids. Do you know what I mean? You know, I mean, people wonder why I wear body armour, man. You've only got to meet some of my exes to know why I wear body armour. let alone the armies of fucking kids running around with zombie knives, man. Fuck me, even they'd be scared of my exes, like, you know.
So do you think like, because actually right now, like, in Pembrokeshire, there's I'm making a laugh of it, but I shouldn't, like, because there was a Tenby attacks, like, and all them young boys with knives, they were stabbed and that. Do you reckon if you strolled up in all that kit, they would just fucking led there?
I'm not sure what's the exact story. I don't
get it. Have you not seen it?
No, I didn't.
On Tenby train station,
Tenby, right.
4 boys got stabbed.
4 boys got stabbed.
But 10 of them fucking attacked like
So 10 attacked 4.
10 of them attacked 1,
Right.
and then the one boy stabbed 4, apparently.
Oh, they punched him and then he pulled a knife.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So, but do you reckon if you'd have fucking strolled down in that fucking camo gear, like, yeah, they'd have all just dispersed?
Probably. Yeah.
Because there's a controversy at the minute that the police didn't do the jobs good enough,
Mate,
and they weren't assertive enough.
Look at the Mayhill shit down in Swansea. Do you know what I mean? I was watching that on the news in Park Prison and that, man. That was disgusting. You know, the old bill across the UK, right? Every time you pay your council tax, I found this out not long ago actually, right? Because I saw someone's actual bill. A third of your council tax goes from the council straight to the old bill, mate. Yeah?
I can pull up a letter now that says that.
Right, yeah. So, right. So every time you pay your tax, right, a third of that is going straight to the old bill as a necessary evil to just go around flogging confiscated drugs on the side and just generally doing all sorts of illegal shit in uniform and getting away with it.
Right, but I'm not going
to... not protecting the public, because they're only really... Basically, they're mercenaries for the rich. If you're rich and powerful, they'll protect you. If you've got not a pot to piss in, they'll just walk on by while you get stabbed and laugh in your face, mate.
Right, whatever he's just said now, like, is that I'm not going to 100% condone that, like, because my uncle was a chief inspector of Merseyside Police. He's a very nice man. And he
I'm not saying every single cop is a scumbag. I'm saying like on the whole.
So I'm not going to 100% condone it because he's a very nice man and he done his job really well and you know what, like, yeah, he wasn't just military. He wasn't just civil police. He was military police.
They don't mess about.
You know, so I'm not going to 100% condone what he's saying, but I will say, like, yeah, there is police officers in this country which what he says is true. You know, so I'm not going to 100%.
There's a hell of a lot of corruption. Man,
there is a lot of it, like, you know, but I'm not going to put my name 100% to that. But I will say that some of it possibly is true, like, you know, and maybe a lot of it because I've had my own moments as well, like, yeah, and I'd love for someone to be able to interview me and me talk about my life, like, yeah, because I've got loads to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen 2 coppers, right, that had nicked me, so I knew them by face, out of uniform, selling heroin down side alleys in 2 different countries of the UK, right? One was in Brighton in England and the other one was in Glasgow in Scotland. And there's coppers selling heroin to children under 16. How is that not just perpetuating, we need more criminals, otherwise we've got no one to nick and fill the jails with?
So when you say that, like, is it, do you mean that in context as undercover, or they're doing that?
They weren't undercover, they were probably just making a few quid on the side. Just bent coppers, man.
That's just
why would you be undercover selling heroin to children? Like, I mean, it's not really a, you know.
I know, but
it's not a thing, is it?
I know, but I have to ask, like, because
just clarify it.
To clarify it, like, you know. Sense, this is incredible. Yeah, right, listen, CJ, I think I'm going to end this here, like, yeah, but because we've gone through quite a lot, like, yeah. Anyone else wants to see any more of CJ? He has definitely got a lot more stories to tell.
I've got loads to say, mate. That's not even 2%.
That's not even 2%. Actually, I don't even care if anyone else want any questions because I will drag him back at some point again, like, yeah, and we're going to have a lot more stories to tell and everything else, like, okay. So thank you for being on the show, yeah, CJ, yeah. Would you like to say goodbye?
Have a nice one, folks.
Any messages you want to say to him?
Live long and prosper.
Anyway, guys, yeah, like, subscribe, yeah. Find me at Nodcast Clips on YouTube. Find me at Nodcast Clips on Instagram. And, yeah, love you all. Speak soon.